Hi there, E.A. Tischler here with New Horizons Golf. Today I want to talk to you about different ball flight patterns. Some great players are pullers of the ball like Sam Snead. Other great players are pushers of the ball like Lee Trevino, and other players have more of a straightforward, down the line sort of ball flight pattern. We're going to talk about actually looking at these patterns and playing them in a window, or what I call a corridor, and showing you how to set up to these patterns with front anchor, center anchor, and rear anchor alignments. We're going to start with a straight corridor or square corridor here and a center anchor alignment. Center anchor golfers set up with their feet, toe line, hip line, shoulder line square with each other. The orange stick by my feet is sort of the alignment of my foot line, and then the yellow stick right by my feet there is actually the alignment of the chest line. Those orange stick lines are actually going to move as we continue going through this process. The two sticks out in front of me are the corridors. The yellow one there being the left wall of the corridor and the orange one being the right part of the corridor. Golfers that are using this pattern will play shots in the corridor. They could be little pull fades or push draws or straight down the corridor. As long as it ends up in the corridor, they're accomplishing their goal and they're happy with their ball flight pattern. So the key here is to set up square with everything and play in the corridor. The next pattern is the rear anchor with the straight corridor or square corridor again. These golfers are going to actually set up with a little bit more weight on the right-footed address. The stance is actually going to be an open line. So now you see the yellow or the orange stick by my feet is actually pointed left, so that I can get my feet on more of an open stance. I still want my chest square to the corridor, which is square to that yellow alignment stick down by my feet. Again, these golfers are actually going to focus on playing the shots out into this straight corridor. The yellow stick out in front of me being the left wall, the orange stick being the right wall. I want all my shots to work between those walls. I can fade it down the left side of the corridor back into the middle. I can draw it down the right side of the corridor, work it back into the middle. I can play it straight down the middle of the corridor. The whole idea again is that even with misses, I want all my misses to end up in the corridor. If they're in the corridor, I'm playing good golf. Next up, we have the front anchor technique with the straight or square corridor. This one we're going to actually have a closed stance. These golfers actually set up with more weight on their left-footed address. The stance is going to be closed to accommodate that weight distribution. The shoulders are still going to be, or the chest is going to be square to the aim line, which is the yellow stick there by my feet. So again, once again, these golfers, even though they have a closed stance, their chest is square to the corridor. Their goal is to play the shots down the corridor. Again, they can fade it down the left side of the corridor back in the middle, draw it down the right side of the corridor back in the middle, play shots down the straight down the middle of the corridor. As long as their shots are staying inside the corridor, even their misses, they know they're playing great golf. Like I like to say, championship golf is played out in front of you, down the corridor. Okay, let's look at a push corridor now. We're going to do the front anchor version first. Once again, I'm going to have a little bit more weight on my front foot. My toe line is going to be a little bit close to my shoulders. My chest is going to be square to the aim stick, which is a yellow stick by my feet there. And now I just want to get the feel that I'm playing shots at a little bit more of a push out into that push corridor. You can see I've set up with that orange stick kind of aimed a little bit right of the yellow one that's down the line there. Now, these golfers often feel like their toe line is aimed at the target, even though their shoulders are left of the target, and they're still trying to play that shot out down the toe line or out towards the toe line, which is out to the right of a traditionally square corridor. A lot of great players play with push corridors. As long as you can aim it and you know where that ball's going, it's a great way to play. Now, some center anchor golfers also use a push corridor. So we're going to go ahead and get set up again, more of a 50-50 weight distribution. My toe line is actually square at address to my hips and my shoulders, my chest are all square to the aim line here. However, these golfers are still going to feel like they actually play more of a push. Again, they can play push draws out into the corridor. They can actually take it down the line there and fade it back into the corridor. They can play a straight push out into the corridor. Again, it's just a feeling that they have for whatever reason with their sequencing and their timing. They find it a lot easier to play more solid shots with a push action as long as they know where that target is and they can actually get that push to stay in the corridor. They're going to play good golf. Once again, great golf is played out in front of you. It's played into a corridor, even if it's a push corridor. Next up, we have the rear anchor version of a push corridor. And a lot of people feel like this is sort of how Trevino played the game. Some people feel he reverted or switched the front anchor during his swing, but he definitely set open and he definitely played a push. So this is much more of a conventional way that a lot of players that play pushes look. So again, I'm going to have a little bit more weight on my rear footed address. My stance is going to be a little bit open. I still want my chest actually square to the aim line, and I'm just working on getting that feeling of creating a really solid push. I can push draw it, if I want. I can play a straight push if I want. I can actually play a push cut if I want. All those shots just have to end up in the corridor. Once again, if you feel like your most consistent action is a push, and you know where that ball is going, and you can actually aim it left of your target and play a push, this is a great way to play the game. Okay, let's take a look at the pull corridor now. We're going to start off with a rear anchor action here. So again, I'm going to set up with a little bit more weight on my rear foot. My stance is going to be open. My chest is going to be square to the aim line, which is that yellow stick right there by my feet. Again, the feeling here is that even though I'm set up with a little bit of open stance and my chest is aimed a little bit right at my feet, I still want to get the sense that all my shots are going to be a pull. They'll either start right down that yellow stick down the line and work to the left. They'll pull into that corridor, just right down the middle of that corridor that's a little left of the aim line, or I may even pull it down the orange stick and cut it back into the fairway. So again, if you're very consistent with that action, your shots are solid and predictable, this is a very good way to play the game. Next up, we got the center anchor version of the pull corridor. Once again, we're going to set up at address with a 50-50 weight distribution. Our toe line, hip line, chest line are all square to the aim line here. And then we're going to go ahead and make this swing, and it's actually going to play a shot that's either going to start down the aim line, which is down the line there, the second yellow stick, or we're actually going to pull it into that corridor. So as long as these shots are starting in the corridor and staying in the corridor, even if it's a pull, it's okay. A lot of people will tell you look like you're swinging over the top, or it's a bad swing. Well, a lot of great players have played this way. Retief Goosen actually looked like he had a pull motion. Sam Snead had a pull motion. Present players like Brendan de Jong look like they're over the top and they play a pull motion. But once again, as long as you're a center anchor golfer and you can consistently play solid shots with it, this will work. Okay, finally we've got the front anchor version of the pull corridor, and this is probably the most controversial because it looks like you're actually aimed more right with your toe line, even though your chest is square to the aim line, and you got a little bit more weight on your front foot at address. Your stance is closed, your chest is square. Again, it looks to people like these players come more over the top and they have a bigger pull. But again, if this is the most consistent way for you to play the game, then it's okay to play a pull pattern. You just have to know where that pattern is. You need to know where the right side of the pattern is and the left side of the pattern. I call them the left walls and the right walls. And as long as you can consistently play those shots down the court or out in front of you, you're going to be able to play good golf. So if you're a front anchor golfer and you feel like your best shot is a little pull, whether it's a pull cut, a little pull draw, or straight pull down the corridor, go ahead and play it.